you been looking at your Meta ads, your Instagram or Facebook ads, and thought, God, what do they want? What do they even want? In the last year, Meta has been leaning in and really embracing the AI aspect of the ad platform. And as much as we have resisted, it's here. The way we used to do things in Ads Manager has got to be completely changed. So what do? Maybe you've heard that with Andromeda, Meta is wanting a lot of volume, a lot of ads. Well, what does that mean? How many ads do you need to create in order to have an effective campaign? Most small accounts, and by small, I mean $50 a day ad spend. I would say the sweet spot there would be 4 to 6 ads. So 4 to 6 creative. Anything higher than that, I would just maybe add a few more. You can't have too many ads when your budget is smaller because there won't be enough ad spend to spread the ads around, and you won't really get good data to see which one is a winner and which one's not. That is Meta's job. They are really good now at finding the ads that the people want to see and showing more of them. So think of it as a small curated menu. For example, a Five Guys or a Shake Shack. There's 5 main items on the menu versus Cheesecake Factory, where there's so much. How in the world could you even go through that menu and decide what you want to eat? And if the money part of this is stressing you out or you really don't understand, you can grab my 5 ad budget killers. It's down below in the description. So now we know how many ads we should start with. What do? When do you know how long you should leave it on? How do you know if it's working? Such great questions. So many people turn their ad off way too soon. Again, back when we would do those really targeted audiences, we would know pretty soon. I mean, be in there, an hour after we posted the ad. Oh, that doesn't work. Turn it off. Well, things are different now. And that is why Meta wants so many different ads and so much variety, because they are going to take their time and really home in on your perfect client, your ideal prospect, client, customer. And it takes time. It takes time for them to learn who's clicking, who's interested, who's watching. And if you turn it off too soon, it's like you just threw all that money that went towards that ad away, because you have nothing, you have no data, you turned it off, you really don't know. So you really need to let them sit a good 5 to 7 days. But eventually, Meta will find the people. Now, of course, the reverse of that, if the ad is working, that's a pretty good indication that you should leave it on. Even if maybe the metrics aren't that great, but it's bringing in the people that you want and your ad spend is down, add more money to it. So how do you know if it's working? Well, one good indicator is if let's say you have the 4 to 6 ads that are running. And after 5 or 7 days, after a week, you go in there and you see one of them is not spending any money at all, then you might want to turn that off, but you might want to keep that one on. There's no harm in having it in there. If Meta's not spending the money on it, you're not wasting any money. Now, if it was spending a lot of money on that ad with no return, then yes, turn that off. But they're pretty good now at finding ads that people want to see and then feeding that ad to the people and spending the money on those ads. Another good indicator to look for when you're making your decision after a week is if your cost per lead is a lot more expensive than you're used to, or than you had anticipated or wanted or have budgeted to spend, then yeah, turn it off. And again, on the flip side, if it is working and it is getting your goal, keep it running, add more money to it. So now how are you going to keep things fresh? Meta says variety and volume, variety and volume. Okay, so what do you need to do? Do you need to be constantly churning out more ads? Well, yes and no. If you start with your 4 to 6, a good way to get into the flow is add 1 or 2 new creative per week. But you need to keep adding more variety. What do I mean by variety? I mean not the same, not just reels. You might have an audience that doesn't like watching video, or they might like to look at static images. And once you're in this rhythm, it's going to feel a lot less chaotic and you'll get into the flow. So now that you know exactly, well, not exactly, nothing's exact, right? Everything's all about testing. But once you have an idea of where to start, how do you get the ads to speak to or attract your right ideal client? You're not targeting anymore, right? They've changed the game. So how is your creative going to do the heavy lifting? That's what the next video is about. So stick around and click play on that one.